channel today. Today I'll be talking about attendance for students. And the reason I decided to talk about this topic is because recently I saw a video of a lady who happens to be an international student in a UK university, and she was crying online and talking about how she has been contacted by the Home Office and how she has been withdrawn from her study, and that she has spent so much money. She's a self-funded student and she has spent so much money and time, particularly 3 years, and then she was withdrawn. Not because she was not doing well academically, but basically because of her attendance. And it just occurred to me that it's something that I really had to talk about, because most people do not understand how much attendance can impact your progress in terms of your study in any university. So, thanks for joining in today. So, one thing I really want to say about this attendance issue is that when you are enrolled and when you are registered as a student in any of these universities, particularly you're given an ID card, and one thing that ID card does, aside from being a form of identity, it's also to record your attendance. So typically all of these classes are set with attendance monitoring systems, in the sense that you go into the classroom, you tap in the attendance probably 10 minutes before the lecture or 10 minutes before the end of the lecture. So attendance is a very, very important component of your success in any institution. Now, as a student, be it international or home student, you are required to meet a certain percentage of attendance, basically between 65 or 70% attendance, depending on your school. So when this lady came up on social media and said that she's been withdrawn from her study, and then she literally mentioned that it was true that at some point she couldn't attend classes because she lost her dad and she wasn't able to attend classes during those periods, and she was really struggling. Now, schools are not institutions filled with people that do not have feelings. And that's why I always advise anyone or any of my students that if you encounter any problem, speak to the student advice, make everyone aware. So if you're going to be absent from school, you would have gotten the approval to not attend classes. So this lady was struggling, she was bereaved, which typically is a good grounds for her to take a break from study. If she had spoken to someone, she definitely would have been told to take a break or take a break from study, and they would have given her time off study. So that period would have been enough for her to probably grieve and probably get herself together to school. Well, I think she probably didn't do that, and she didn't get an approved break from study or approved leave from study. So she went ahead and wasn't attending classes, and she probably was having to work or meet the deadline for her tuition payment. So she wasn't able to attend classes, which eventually the school notified the Home Office. Now, one thing I want to also say is that the school does not immediately go to the Home Office and say, okay, this student hasn't been attending. But they must have sent us several emails, or they must have tried to get in touch with us severally to be able to discuss issues surrounding absence from school. But probably she wasn't able to, she didn't check her emails. She probably didn't, check those emails to be able to see that the school was trying to get in touch with her. So when schools decide that a student has to be withdrawn based on their attendance, several measures would have been taken. I'll give an example from my experience and from my place of work. One thing we do is that before the school gets in touch with the top management, that is probably the Home Office, one thing we do is firstly get to the personal development tutor for that student. Every student has a personal development tutor, and that personal development tutor has the responsibility to oversee the activities of each and every student allocated to them. So once the attendance at the end of a trimester is collated, we can see the percentage of attendance for each student. And the moment we see that there are some students that are falling short of the expected requirement, then those students are notified, and their personal development tutor is notified of that kind of development. Now, the attendance is not collated at the end of the trimester. So this is done so that at least the student will have some classes left to catch up with the attendance. But in a case whereby the student then doesn't catch up with the attendance, then things like that is going to, something like similar to what happened to that lady is going to occur. So typically a notice is given to the personal development tutor, take for instance like 4 weeks before the end of the trimester. So maybe 4 weeks before the end of the teaching week. So if you get that notice, the personal development tutor is there to also contact the student, either by calling, either by sending email, or they try as much as possible to reach you. They don't just decide to withdraw you from school. So I tell my students to at any point in time, if you are facing a hard time, either as an international student or as a home student, get in touch with the student support. There are several applications that you can make to avoid cases like this. So in the case of this student, definitely she probably didn't read the notice, or probably she wasn't aware that she was being contacted via a student email. So firstly, to avoid cases like this, attend the classes. There is a percentage, there is a quota of classes that you have to attend to be able to progress. Secondly, if you find yourself in a situation where you can't attend the classes, get in touch with the student support or your school admin, or more closely, your personal development tutor or your module leader or your course leader. They are there to help you. So the moment you sense a force major, or you see something is about to happen and it's going to deter you from attending classes, get in touch with those people. And secondly, keep track of your email. Your student email is your first source of correspondence to any team within the university. So your student email is that place where they are going to send you any information that they need to get across to you. So aside that, sometimes when those emails are sent, they copy your personal email, and in extreme case, they call your number, the home phone number that you have dropped, the home telephone number that you have dropped, or your mobile number. They try to get in touch with you before it gets to the extreme. So it was the sorry case to see that lady going through that emotion, because she was literally crying. She has lost the years that she has invested, and also the money that she has invested in that education. Aside from that, imagine experiencing that kind of emotion when you've just lost a dear one. So I encourage my students to please attend lectures. And most times, when you attend lectures, you try as much as possible to be punctual. Punctuality is key. In my place of work, if you are 30 minutes late into the lecture, whether online or physical lectures where you have to be in the classroom, if you are 30 minutes late, then you'll be categorized as an absent student. So please, you have invested so much in your education. Try to do what is required of you by your institution and get the best out of your study. I wish you all the best, and thank you for always joining my channel. I'll see you in my next video.